guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here again for our favourite projects revisited. This is the final episode, so episode 7. And I wanted to revisit the famous paintings. So we did making pockets from famous paintings. So we're going to do kind of making pockets from famous paintings, but maybe making just general ephemera from famous paintings. We're just going to kind of yeah, just see what we come up with, really. So I used this book in the last one where we used these famous paintings, and it's called The Great Paintings of England. Oh, the Chelle Guide to the Great Paintings of England. Yeah, I've had it for a little while, so yeah, this is the book that we're going to use. But it's got some really great pictures in it, and we've got all different sizes. So we've got kind of smaller ones and bigger ones, obviously, that we can then use. So I'm thinking let's use this. Yeah, let's use this one, which is quite lovely. Please excuse my ignorance. I don't know what most of these paintings are. They may be very famous. I don't know. I mean, they're obviously quite famous, the fact they've made it into the book. But yeah, I wouldn't like to say what these paintings are. I'm not even going to pronounce this person's name. I think it says The Setting of the Sun. But isn't that just a gorgeous picture? Oh, I just absolutely love that. So I'm going to tear out the texty page as well. I know it's got some, a picture on there as well, but it doesn't really matter. Just because I like to layer them up so they're kind of a bit thicker. This one I absolutely love, and I thought this was a Gainsborough. And the only reason why I would recognise a Gainsborough picture is because I actually went to, I can't remember whether I think it might have been called Dulwich Art Gallery, and it was full of Gainsborough paintings, and they're just really, really stunning, but also they're pretty recognisable. So that's the only reason why I'd actually recognise that. I'm not professing to be suddenly, knowledgeable when it comes to art, not at all. Right, we've got this one. Again, this does look famous to me. So I feel like I have seen that. Oh, this is not a very nice picture, is it? Yeah, no, not loving that. Let's have a look. And I've got my little doggy friend in here with me again today. So little gorgeous Bo, she's in the room with me. So she is just laying in her bed and being a good girl. So yeah, right. I'm just having a flick through to see what other one we might like to use. So oh, I don't know now. I was kind of thinking another one, similar to these, but I mean, we've got this one of Charles the First. Let's just have a quick flick through. Oh, that one's quite a nice picture. Yeah, I quite like that. I do quite like the black and white ones quite often as well. I mean, I'm not keen on things like this, to be honest. It's a Picasso, but yeah, I mean, not that I'm judging his work, obviously, but it's just not for me. So yeah, I'm not so keen. I like things like this, really, especially, in junk journals, because it feels to me like it's very, very vintage. So, yeah, I like the style and, this type of thing. So let's just tear this one out. Okay, and I'm just going to tear a texty page out as well. I'll find one that's more pure text than anything else. Okay, right. So we'll put those there. Okay, so I'm going to just move the book to one side because I've probably being way over ambitious thinking I'm going to do more than 3. I probably won't even manage to do 3. So we've got this one. Now, isn't she just so absolutely gorgeous? Really, really love her. So what I'm thinking is we could actually make her into a pouch, really. But obviously, she's not really big enough to make as a pouch. So I'm thinking we will have to join her with some other paper. Now, I did use, I did reinforce these when I made these previously because, and I've just said it, the page is not that thick. So I'm kind of thinking, oh, if I do this, am I going to need to reinforce her? Do I need to reinforce her? I probably should, shouldn't I? But I'm kind of thinking, you know, we could just join her up. Well, I'll just use this book page for the minute. Join her up and just kind of form like a little pouch from her, like a little paper bag. Which, oh, actually, do you know what? I think that will be okay, to be honest. You know, if we're making a paper bag, I'm just going to have a sip of my tea. Then, to be honest, she probably doesn't need to be, you know, as thick and sturdy, does she? So, yeah, I'm going to do it like that. So, I'm going to join her to some other page because obviously, you know, she's far too small to make. Well, I mean, I guess she would actually make a paper bag, wouldn't she? Yeah, but I'm thinking let's make a bigger paper bag. So, right, I'm going to just take this in here like that, okay. And all I'm going to do is join this onto another piece of paper so that we're then expanding our range that we've got, if that makes sense. So if I take her in on this side as well, like that, all I want to do is have like a little kind of piece here, which is going to act as my joined up piece, if that makes sense. Just so that she's then bigger, because otherwise, you know, she's not really kind of obviously big enough. So I'm just going to take her down with the scissors. So I'm going to take her down about here. Okay. Yeah, like that. Okay. Yeah, and I will cut across here as well. So all I'm going to do is, first of all, cut this page down to approximately the size it needs to be to sort of fill in the space, if that makes sense. I think I'm not making a very good job of explaining any of this, so I do apologise. But basically, all we're trying to do is cut this to be able to glue it onto here, like that. So we've got then a kind of central piece. So yeah, I think that will kind of work okay. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to take this bottom part and I'm going to cut here a couple of kind of, you know, mitered bits. I'm going to cut this down here. Oops, like this. Okay. And I mean, like I say, actually, in hindsight, we probably could have just made her, or made these, you know, smallish bags, to be honest. They actually would have been okay. In my mind, they were going to be way too small. But yeah, I mean, actually, in reality, I think they would have been okay. But anyway, this is fine. So then we're going to fold this up here. Obviously, we've got this big gap at the moment. So what we want to do is fill the gap in by just putting this sheet of page down here like that. Okay, and then we can cut this across at the top. So yeah, I think that works quite well actually. So right, let's take this down in terms of height. So I'll just cut this across. Now I might do that ziggity zaggity, you know, with my jiggity jaggedy scissors at the top of this bag. I'm not sure, but let's just glue this together. So what I want to do is glue the inside line of these pages, if you see what I mean, like that. So on the inside, like this, okay. And then on my texty piece that I'm putting on the fill-in, I just want to then glue the outside line, if that makes sense. So hopefully I've then glued all the kind of weak points. So I just pop that down like that, okay. And then just pop this into that space, like that. So yeah, I mean, we've just literally expanded the size of that, basically. You know, we could have made a small bag, but we've now been able to make a much bigger kind of pouch or bag. So just going to then glue this down over here. Okay. Well, that took a bit of thinking about. I'm so sorry that it was a bit of a lengthy process to decide how to do this, but yeah, you know, it wasn't a planned kind of thing, so it just evolved on the fly. Right, okay, so now what I'm going to do is just take my decorative scissors. Okay, so yep, I'm just going to cut across the top. Let me put my glasses on this for this bit. Oops, just going to mop out any excess glue. It's just seeping out there. Okay, right. Let's take this across here. One. There we go. How lovely is that? Now, might need to kind of glue down the top here. No, it's okay, because I wasn't sure whether my glue had kind of gone up to there, but yeah, it's okay. So that's it, and that's kind of then a little, you know, paper bag where we've filled in and, you know, kind of, yeah, made it bigger basically. So I'm just going to put that to one side. I quite like how that looked, so let's try another one of those. So I'm going to take my man now. Now, obviously I've made a terrible job of tearing him out of the book. So let me just neaten him up a little bit down this side. Okay. And then again, exactly the same. So I want to take him in here on the side, like that. Okay. And then I want to take him in here on this side, like that. Okay, let me check how he's looking. Yeah, he's looking pretty good, isn't he? Pretty good. Right, and then I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to fold him up about there. So I'm just going to trim him down here and then just cut these corners like that. That's just for my mitered bottom bits. And then just cut this piece out here. Oh, I'm so rubbish at doing things like this. Never kind of line them up quite properly. Then I end up having to, you know, tear it. And then, of course, what happens, I'm tearing my front bit. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to just cut down here. Now this bag, I'm going to bring this down quite a bit. So I'm going to take it down to about here. And then I will probably do that jaggedy edge as well, once we've actually kind of finalised the bag or finished the bag. So let me just quickly finish this. Hold on a second. Okay. So that's good. My tea's now off the desk. Right. Now I've got my little slither that we used in the last one. So I can just take this down a bit more. Okay, okay. I'm just going to cut this down here. Like I say, I mean, actually in hindsight, you know, we could have made small paper bags from these, but to be honest, I quite like the bigger size. I think it's quite nice. So going to fold this over for my bottom of my bag, and that's going to obviously, you know, cover up this bit. And then we're going to just glue this in here. So again, just mark that roughly where I need to cut. Okie dokie. Like that, and then get my glue. So all I'm doing is again gluing on the inside edge. Oh, sorry about that. I assume that's probably the postman is about to come. So yeah, she's hopped off somewhere. Okay, and then just go on my outside edge of here, like that. Are you okay, Bo? Back now. She might have heard my neighbour, because my neighbour also, they have a dog, and yeah, he takes the dog out for a walk about this time, so I think I can hear them kind of getting their gate open. So that might be why she hopped down. Right, okay, so then we're just going to pop this here, like that. Okay, oops, just spread that glue. Like that, okay, oops, let me just mop that bit up. And then here, okay, fold that one over. Okay, oh, loving these bags, I must say. Yeah, they're really, really nice. Now, the next one, I'm not sure how we're going to do that, because that one's actually quite, what's the word? Filled in. You know, like these had kind of a little bit of an edge that we could take them down. The other one is more of a full-on painting. So, yeah, we're going to either have to have like a wider bag, or we're going to have to do a different piece of ephemera. I mean, I could make this into a pocket like we did on the first video, because that, you know, that was really nice, to be honest. So perhaps we'll do that. Yeah, perhaps we'll do that. So just going to cut this down here. Like that, okay. And then, yeah, just going to cut it down here. Like that. And a bit here. And then just take it in slightly on this edge, because this has got quite a big sort of bit that I can fold in. I know there is a person down there, but oh well, I'm going to have to fold in over him, otherwise it's going to be a gigantic pocket that might be then too big to actually use anywhere. So yeah, okay, right, let's glue this down. Okie dokie. And obviously, you know, I have not made a very good job of cutting this, and not straight, you know, looks pretty awful, but it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you know, it's, yeah, it's going to be decorated up, it's not really going to show, and the, you know, the straight edge bits are actually going to be folded over anyway, so, you know, it really doesn't matter. Okay, we just, all we're trying to do is reinforce it so it's thicker. I haven't done that with the bags, because actually, you know, paper bags, they're generally quite thin anyway, aren't they? So I don't think that matters so much. But if it's actually a pocket, I feel like it does need to be, you know, a bit thicker really. So yeah, let's just mop that glue out. Okie dokie. Right. So yeah, all I'm going to do is fold this down, and at this point, you know, I might cut this down further, because obviously otherwise we've got a very large like pocket flap thing here, which, you know, we don't need to have that. Okay, and then just fold it up at the bottom like that. Okay, just use my scissor handles instead of a bone folder here. So like that, like that. And then this side, we just take in here. I'm just going to get rid of that person altogether, that man, because otherwise I didn't want him half showing, you know, having half his face, that would look even worse, wouldn't it, than having none of him. So yeah, I've just squished that down, and then I'm just going to miter my corners. So I'm just going to literally fold them like that, and then just go like this here, okay, and there, okay, oops, like that, and then this one, okay, and then I will just do these ones slightly as well, because, you know, you might see them. And then I'm just going to take this down, because at the moment it's gigantic. It does not need to be that big at all. Okay, and then this as well does not need to be that size. So yeah, and even the bottom one's probably a little bit big, so we'll just take that one down like that. Okay, so we've trimmed that down considerably, haven't we? Okay, right. Now I'm just going to spread that glue here on the front as well. The only thing that I will say is when you use this glossy kind of book page, you know, it's not that forgiving with your kind of bubbly glue effect, if you see what I mean. You can probably see it's not 100% smooth. And, you know, that's just kind of how it is. I mean, unless you use a glue stick or something, but if you're using wet glue, you know, you're going to have these kind of air bubbly type bits. I don't really know how you could get around that. I mean, you could use Mod Podge, I suppose. That would be a bit more of an even kind of thing. Or a glue stick. I mean, I personally just don't really like glue sticks, but yeah, you could do that. Right, so we've got a couple of paper bags and then we've got this big pocket. So yeah, let's just kind of see what we can do with those. Now, I've got the rest of my bright roses that we'd used in another video here. So just going to pull those in. Oh my goodness. Loving that pink one, I must say. So yeah, let me just cut this one out. Loving that on there. I'm actually thinking loving it on here as well, so I might have to do another one. Wondering if we could have a blue one on here. I mean, you know, kind of keeping it masculine. Now I've got the rest of those fun photo pieces. This is again those pieces that I know I did talk about earlier on in the week when my printer was just, oh my goodness, misbehaving unbelievably. So they're a bit blurry and sort of, yeah, not very good. But they might just be, you know, they might just be okay. So just going to take this one down here. And I know I did say this earlier on in the week, but yeah, the fun photo kits, I mean, they're in my Etsy shop. I've not had time to play with them myself yet, so I'm quite excited to play with them. So hopefully we'll play with them soon. But yeah, they're hopefully going to be something really quite different and, you know, that you can do lots of fun things with. So yeah, definitely it's on my list of things to do. It's just a case of time to do them, or time to, you know, to play with them. So yeah, right. Hopefully life's going to calm down a little bit work-wise, because obviously the really busy time is, and I've said this before, I find between like September and December, really, you know, the end of December, because it's like one seasonal thing after another. You've got like autumn, Halloween, Christmas, you know, plus other things obviously in the meantime. You know, sometimes there might be collaborations. I know last year we had a couple. So, you know, kind of, it just, yeah, very busy, kind of obviously busy because making the kits for those seasonal things, then making the videos, and yeah, it just gets a really busy kind of crazy time. So hopefully it's, you know, work-wise going to calm down a little bit, you know, and then can have a bit more kind of like free time to do, you know, non-seasonal things that we can just then, you know, go our own way a little bit more and kind of like, yeah, mix things up a bit more. So yeah, that's the plan. We shall see how it goes. But obviously now, oh yeah, and yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say, because I like to do a freebie on Christmas Day. I have done for the last couple of years or 3 years. And then like a little series, obviously, for between Christmas and New Year. And then, you know, this might be year 3 where I'm doing the revisiting the favourite projects. So all those things, they're kind of like one after another things, you know, that are just, yeah, one after another. Busy. So, you know, there's like a structure there, if you see what I mean. It's not sort of freestyling at all. It's like, oh, well, now I must do this, now I must do that. So hopefully, yeah, we're going to have a bit more ability to kind of like go off and be freer for the next couple of months at least. And then it will all start again, because there will then be spring and I guess then summer, you know, all those things. But, oh, I mean, yeah, the time just whizzes by, doesn't it? Absolutely flies. Okay. So yeah, I mean, these are a little bit sort of smudgy from that printing kind of problem that I was having, but it's not too bad. So I think they're going to work okay. And obviously the bright roses, you know, they're okay because I've printed them since getting over my printer problems. So yeah. Okay. I don't know whether I want to have that blue rose on that man now. Kind of like thinking, or maybe he doesn't need that. Maybe that's a little bit, you know, not suitable for him. I'm not sure. Quite loving this butterfly. Yeah. This is from my, I think it's the Butterfly Musings kit. And again, they were just like sort of floating around at the side of my desk. But, I mean, colour-wise, they're really great for her, aren't they? So let's just take one of those. Yeah, so I hope everyone's having a good day. Maybe doing some crafting. Oh, it's so dark here again. So, yeah, I've got to have the light on again. So I do apologise. But, oh, it's just like rainy and horrible and miserable. So, and I know I have said this before. Honestly, with the light off, I mean, you just wouldn't be able to see anything. I wouldn't be able to see anything to actually craft. And you wouldn't be able to see anything, you know, that I'm actually making. So it's just one of those things, I'm afraid. But, yeah, I do apologise because I realise it's probably, you know, it probably is quite bright. But it's, yeah, it can't really be helped. So I'm really sorry about that. And, you know, I just hope that the shadowing is not too bad. Or the glare, because obviously these book pages, they're slightly sort of sheeny and glossy. So I can see already there's a bit of glare on this one. So I hope it's not too bad. Oh my goodness, isn't that little doggy such a good girl? She's just in her bed, just, oh, such a good girl. So yeah, I'm filming this, you know, kind of quickly to kind of get this up for, you know, the rest of this series. But I'm filming it, you know, pretty much in real time. You know, and I normally say that the only thing that I film in real time is the mass making. But yeah, this is actually quite real time as well, because I'm just filming this. Today is the 4th of January. So yeah, it's going to go up pretty close to when I filmed it. So yeah, yesterday was my first day, just me and the dog. And oh, she was so good, so good. The only thing is, I've got things to go to the post office, and she's not great in the car. The post office by me, you know, that's kind of walkable, is just never open. I know I've moaned about this before. So the post office that I have to go to now, I have to drive to, and yeah, it's kind of like, oh, this isn't great because she's not brilliant in the car. She definitely wouldn't wait in the car. I'm not sure really whether you're allowed to take dogs in for the post office. Anyway, I'm going to give it a try later because I've got 3 parcels left over from my advent calendar series, you know, that need posting. So I'm going to try and we'll just see how I get on. But yeah, aside from that, it's all going fine. So I've walked her to the school on the school run a couple of times now. And, you know, yesterday she obviously came with me and she's come with me this morning. She's so good, and yeah, I think she quite likes the whole, you know, going on that little walk, and oh, she's just so cute and very, very, very super loving, I have to say. So yeah, we're all really loving her, I'm actually thinking this rose probably is a better colour. It's just a bit better with her dress, isn't it? So yeah, let's just take this one. Okay. So it's my sister's birthday on the 5th of January, so tomorrow. And oh, I hope she won't mind me saying this. It's going to be her 40th. So yeah, my sister's 7 years younger than me. So yeah, it's going to be her 40th, and yep, she's having this thing called a bottomless supper. There's this new thing called bottomless brunch. I'd never heard of it until recently, but I mean, I don't know what time you go on that, but I'm assuming like 11 in the morning or something. It's quite early, you know. And then you just eat and drink as much as you like. And when I say drink, I mean alcohol. I mean, I don't drink anyway. I couldn't imagine anything more hideous than drinking alcohol at 11 in the morning. But anyway, they're all the rage. So she is doing a bottomless supper instead. Now, I've never heard of those either. But yeah, bottomless supper, that's where it's at apparently. So yeah, she's doing that on Friday night. So I'm filming this on... Wednesday. So the bottomless supper is on Friday night. So, yep, going on that on Friday night. So, you know, both my sisters are going to be there. I mean, obviously she is because it's her birthday. My other sister's obviously going to be there as well. And I'm actually thinking these flowers are a little bit ginormous, aren't they? It's kind of overhanging. And I don't want to cover her up, although it's not bad there, actually. Yeah, so both my sisters, you know, my other sister, she also is going. My mum's not going because, you know, of course, of her hip. But, yeah, so hopefully it will be kind of quite fun. So obviously some of my sister's friends are going. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know. But I'm sure that's fine. I'm obviously the designated driver for a few people. I mean, obviously I won't be able to fit everybody in. But, yeah, you know, I'll be the driver for a few of us. So, you know, because I don't drink, so that's fine. I mean, I have to say I'm a little bit concerned about my ability to stay awake. Ooh, I'm such a lightweight, honestly. I mean, I go to bed by like 10. You know, yeah, often before. Drop off to sleep before. You know, yeah, sometimes I'll wake back up, but yeah, drop off to sleep before then. So, yeah, a bit kind of like, oh my goodness, how am I going to stay up? You know, stay up and stay awake to actually drive everybody home. So, anyway. But I'm sure it would be very fun. So, I will tell you, no doubt, about it next week in the mass making. Because, yeah, I will have been by then. But, yeah, who knows? Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to be obviously eating and drinking. So, I don't know what the food actually consists of. Obviously, it's more about the drinking experience rather than the eating. So, I don't know what the food will be. Obviously, I'm not going to be drinking anything, you know. I should probably just have tap water, like a really boring person. But, yeah, we'll see. So, anyway, it will be fun, I'm sure. So, right, I can't think how I was thinking these leaves would be best, but I don't know what I thought. Maybe like that. I don't know. That looks rubbish, doesn't it? Maybe like that. Oh, they all look rubbish. They're looking rubbish however I put them. So, yeah, maybe I've just mucked that up. Perhaps it should be like that. Okay. Right, I'm just going to glue that down like that. And I'm just going to hot glue it over the top of that lace. So, oh dear. Knock this up a bit because, yeah, my finger was in the way. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty. And then, yeah, like these butterflies, so going to have one of those there. Quite like it on the flower, actually. But I've also got the smaller one, so I might prefer the smaller one on the flower and then the big one up there. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, anyway, so the bottomless supper. So, yeah. And she said it's, I don't know, she described it as, she said, the theme, and this is the theme in the pub or restaurant or whatever it is that it's, you know, where it's being, I'm not saying where it's being held. I mean, obviously it's not like a birthday thing for her, but, you know, this bottomless brunch thing where that is taking place, i.e., you know, they're holding it anyway. It's not being held for her. Yeah, the theme in there is something called bougie. Now, again, all of these expressions, they are all completely, like, new to me. I didn't really know what that was. Never heard of it. But, yeah, apparently it's, what did she say? just like very dressy uppy, you know. Yeah, anyway, so that's the theme, bougie, apparently. So I don't know what I'm going to wear yet, but I shall have to see whether I've got anything bougie, I suppose. So yeah, let's hope that I've got something suitably bougie. You know, whatever that even is. So best actually Google and double check what that actually is, because otherwise I may struggle to find something bougie, you know. Or I may misinterpret what it is and go looking very unbougie, I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, I'm sure it will be fun. But yeah, I have to say my biggest worry is like, oh my goodness, I've got to stay awake. Stay awake to bring everyone home again. Which, oh, that's going to be a late one for me. Okay. Oops. Sorry, just getting these threads off. Okay. So yeah, that looks pretty, doesn't it? And just wondering whether I want anything else on here. No, probably that will do. Sorry, I feel like this has taken me hours to make this. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I've been doing, but yeah, clearly just not being efficient at all today. I mean, I could have another flower on here, maybe. I wonder if I could poke that in somewhere. Maybe like coming out behind there. It's quite nice, isn't it? Just breaks it up a little bit. So yeah, let's put that one in. Just in behind here. Okay. Right. Yeah. Liking how that looks. Okay. Right. Let's move that to one side. Oh, we need to just put a bit of hot glue there. Okay. Right. Let's do this one now, because this one I've at least decided that these flowers look good. Oh, again, I'm going to cover some of these angels up. Well, it's just going to have to be, I think. Loving how that looks on there. Really, really, really pretty. Now, I've got this lace, which I know this sounds a strange choice. And I'm not saying this is a choice yet, you know, it might not be. But I'm just wondering whether we could have something like this here. Only because a lot of these kind of figures, they're sort of orangey, you know, tones. So I'm just wondering whether we could do something like that. So let me just cut this down. Just so I've got a smaller piece to work with. And I'm just going to cut this down here. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. Right. Yeah, I quite like that contrast. I know that's a bit strange, you know, like I say, not really the obvious choice, but there's something quite pretty about that, to be honest. Yeah, I'm quite liking that contrast. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to not do the obvious, isn't it? Nice to not do, you know, the obvious choice, because, you know, it's boring, isn't it, to always go with the obvious thing. I mean, obviously, sometimes there are a lot of obvious and obviously's in this sentence, but yeah, you know, naturally there are some times where you couldn't just, you know, clash it up or mix it up, because it's going to just look awful. But if you can, then actually sometimes, you know, you can get some really nice different looks, you know, that you wouldn't have necessarily got if you played it safe. So yeah, I think it is nice to mix it up sometimes. I'm just wondering whether I want to have any kind of label or anything. So let me just pull my labels in. Okay. Oh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What's this one? Oh. I know this again seems like a strange choice, and I'm now mixing all sorts of colours onto here. But I'm just kind of thinking, you know, because I have got obviously that bluey green of the water. Well, I assume that's water. It's not water, is it? That's sky. Obviously, that's sky. Why did I say water? I mean, it looks like water, you know, in my defence. I think it does. But yes, obviously, it's not water. I use my brain. Of course, it's sky. Okay. Right. I'm just wondering. going to check whether I'd prefer to play it safe. But no, I do like this one, actually. I think that's really nice. So, yeah, let's do that. Okay. And, yeah, that flower. I'm just going to cut these ones out, just in case we might prefer the little bunch of 3 instead. So, okay. So, again, these are from those fun photos, but, yeah, like I say, they're a little bit kind of like smudged from the printing. Okay, right, no idea how long I've been filming for. I feel like it's been a long time because I feel like I've mucked about a lot in this video. So yeah, I don't know why, but I think it took me a long time to construct those little bags. Don't know why, but yeah, it just, oh, they got away from me time-wise. Right, let's just make this up a bit. I just wondered whether, yeah, we might prefer that. I think I maybe do. Going to, you know, if I glue it, I want to glue it right over that angel, really, or cherub. Angel, I don't know whether they're angels or cherubs. Again, this is, you know, obviously a really famous painting, and I'm just, you know, really showing myself up with my lack of art knowledge. So, yeah. I apologise for my ignorance, but okay. Oh my goodness. I mean, doesn't this look so pretty, I must say. And yeah, I think perhaps we will have a second rose there. I mean, I thought perhaps that was going a bit over the top, but actually I think it looks quite nice. And it's nice to go over the top sometimes, isn't it? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to go over the top? Okay, and just see, I've got these little flower trims here. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? Again, like an unexpected thing, you know, but actually looks pretty good on there, doesn't it? So, yeah, quite liking that. Oh, I love how this looks. It's very, very pretty. Yep. Okay, so that's that pocket. Right, okay, the man bag now. The man bag. That was... yeah, not intentionally calling this a man bag, but you know what I mean, the one with the man on. Okay, I'm just kind of thinking, shall we mix him up with like something masculine, i.e., you know, the blue rose. Now I've got some labels here. This is a blue, but I've just obviously toned it right down by inking it, so it no longer really looks very blue. Or I've got red, which of course his coat's red. I mean, to be fair, there's nothing else on there blue, so I don't know really why I'm thinking, oh, go with blue. Yeah, other than the fact that he's a man and, you know, being completely like child of the 70s. Oh, let's go with blue because that's for boys. Right, and again, as you can see, I have now cut these bits, so now I don't really have these butterflies left, but again, these are left from that fun photos kit. So I'm just going to try and see if I can salvage any of this butterfly. I mean, most of it's been cut off or torn off when I obviously was using something on the other side, but I'll just see if I can just salvage anything from there. I don't know, it might look really misshapen and weird and yeah, not be usable at all, but it might be okay. We'll just see. Okay, right, well, it's not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. And the blue is just a nice contrast on there, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like how that looks. And again, just wondering whether we could use some more of this colour. So this colour, to me, this looks a bit more of a natural fit on here than it was on that other pocket. But actually now I've put it on here, to be honest, it looks no more matching on here than it did on the other one. So it goes to show, doesn't it, you know, that actually... You know, sometimes what you most expect actually is, you know, not necessarily a thing anyway. Right. Obviously, if I put this right the way across, it's gone over his face. So, yeah, probably best not to do that. Okay, what about something like this? So I'm just going to ink up around here. So, I mean, you know, these bags are quite glossy anyway. And the other thing is, obviously, this is brown. So, you know, the colours of this painting. So, I mean, the ink is not really particularly, you know, adding anything very much. But we just kind of, you know, go with it anyway. Right, let's put this one down. Okay, let's just get that lace a little bit straighter. Like that, okay. Just cut this out. Like that. And then just check whether I want any other lace anywhere else. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Oh, I quite like it like that with the label up the top. Yeah, I think it looks better with the label up the top. Just checking whether I want anything else. I've got like these little kind of journaling spots, which we could have one of those. Oh, we could have that one there. Should we do that? Should we have a journaling spot on there? So that's just a label from, I think my label's set 2. But yeah, that's quite nice. And again, breaks it up because this has got a lot of dark on it. You know, the background's dark. And then all this dark area where I'm putting the label, that's his legs with his black trousers. So, I mean, actually, it's quite a drab, you know, drab sort of image. So this is just, you know, kind of brightening it up almost by having the little journaling spot. Okay, and let's put the label down up here. Okay, and then just the butterfly. I don't like that. Okay. Now, just before I finish, just wondering whether I should have another label on there. I know he's getting quite cluttered now, but actually I think he can take it because he is very drab, like I say. You know, the fact that he's quite colourless, I think he can take all this stuff everywhere. So, yeah, I think he looks better with all that stuff all around him. What do you think? He looked boring otherwise, didn't he? Just a boring man with his black trousers on. So, yeah, I think he looks a bit better now. We've coloured him up and made him more exciting. Okay, and yeah, just wondering whether I could have another one of these flowers, just because actually it looked so good on that last piece, didn't it? So I just thought, oh, I wonder if we might have another one of these somewhere. I like it there. So, yeah, let's just put that down there. Okay, right. Yeah, really like how that looks, actually. So that's just your paper bag in there. So let's just bring them back. So those, I'm just going to see if we want to have one of those flower trims on here as well. I know, just boring, but just because I have put them on all the others and they looked really good. You know, I really do like them on there. So yeah, let's put another one on there. Not saying it needs it, but let's just pop it on. And then just before I finish, oh, I thought I had another one of those pale pink flowers somewhere. Oh yeah, I have. Just going to see whether we could pop this on, just because that will get this off of my desk. And yeah, just see. Oh, how good is that lovely, gorgeous doggy being? Oh. I can't really see her from where I'm sat because her bed's like over the other side of my desk and my stool isn't high enough to be able to actually kind of see her. But yeah, she's being very good, isn't she? Oh, I don't know. Maybe kind of like ruining this by too many flowers. Could have it down there, I suppose. That's quite nice. Yeah, actually, I quite like it there, I think. Sort of like a little bunch of flowers then, isn't it? Okay. yeah, pop that there. Okay, yeah, love how that looks. Right, okay, so that is my 3 pieces there. So we've made some ephemera there from the famous paintings. That was our final project that we have revisited. Absolutely love how they turned out. Hopefully they look pretty different to the first lot of, you know, famous painting ephemera that we did. You know, super like the method that we used for making the extended paper bags, you know, where we just filled in the backs to make them larger for the paper bags. I mean, that worked really well. So yeah, might make some more of those with something else. But yeah, I hope that you like them. Let me know below which one's your favourite. My favourite, I think, is this one, I have to say. I have to be honest, I actually really like this man now that we've brightened him up. But yeah, let me know which one's your favourite. And yeah, hope you feel inspired. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching the series. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much then. Bye.